happiness a choice in today's day and age? We like to think it is. We like to tell ourselves that we can be happy no matter what we do and no matter how we do it. We like to tell ourselves that happiness is a matter of mindset, not a matter of what you do, but in a way that can't be entirely correct. These two things cannot coexist. Our society and happiness are very much so opposites in all the wrong ways. And I feel like it's very much so highlighted by the way our economic state, at least in the United States, is, because you do need money to survive. There is no survival without it. Sure, you can limit your money, you can do everything you want to not have to spend a dollar in your life, but no matter how hard you try, the way our systems are set up, you'll have to spend at least so much money every year. And it's very much so interesting because we have these different systems set up, these systems that are supposed to provide us with happiness, with freedom, and with liberty, that end up just dampening our chances of success, dampening our chances of happiness. Now, I do deeply believe happiness is a mindset, and happiness looks different for everyone. My happiness may look different than yours, and yours might look different from somebody else. But there is a very common line, is that happiness usually doesn't involve work, or at least not in the typical sense we consider work. And I found that very interesting because we live in a society, an American society, that's all about freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I feel like the way America specifically is set up is trying to hinder that. It's not assisting a lifestyle of, good health, a good life, happiness. We very much so promote those workers, those people in factories answering to the bell. It's been ingrained into our brains ever since we went to school. But just now are we beginning to talk about the effects of it, because we are. We've been being trained since the Industrial Revolution to be mechanical workers. We've been being trained since the school system was established the way we know today. We have been trained to be workers in a factory. We've been trained to be workers in some sort of field that's usually related to intense labor, and very few of us are even seen as capable of inventing new things. And the few underdogs that do actually make a difference are one in a million. And most people that are in that sort of level of power were there from their birth father or their birth mother. Because a lot of success now is defined by who your parents were. And the whole point, one of the points of the United States was to stop that from happening. To make it so that no matter what family you come from, no matter who you were birthed to, you can still have a chance in our world. But that really hasn't been working as of late, and I feel like there is a part where happiness might be tied to the people you're born to. Not just because it depends on what type of person they are, if they're abusive people, you're going to have a not happy life. But moreover, if you were born into a relatively poor household, and you are taught habits of someone who doesn't make that much income, who doesn't really try to make any more than they already have, we do end up with this sort of cycle of people being born into poor families, learning sort of things that don't really make them succeed, and then they lead by example over and over again. It's a cycle downward. Same with the rich. The rich get richer, and the poor get poorer. And this doesn't necessarily relate to happiness. Again, I said, happiness is not monetary. But I feel like money, I will always say happiness isn't based on money, but money helps a whole lot. Because sure, you can live in a mansion and still be miserable every day. Or you could live in a van, for example, and you could live your best life. But you still need money to keep that van. You still need money to keep the heater going, to keep the gas in the tank, to keep the van running, to give you that sort of home. And sure, it doesn't take as much as some people make it out to be. Some people aren't very intelligent with what they purchase, with what they do on their overarching lifestyle choices. But I do feel as if that the whole American dream, the whole idea of the American government isn't helping with it. And I feel like if we just learn to recognize that, we'll lead better lives. But also, happiness is very much so tied to our reputations. I know myself, I really don't want to tie my happiness to a reputation. I don't want what people think of me at school or at a job in the future to really shape who I am. But in such a way, it kind of does. You kind of can't help it. There's always going to be some sort of your happiness that is tied to the way other people look at you. And that's completely human. That's the whole way our brains are programmed, the way our circuits are wired. We are almost forced to feel this kind of way. We have this internal drive to be liked by others that really dampers our happiness if we don't achieve it. Same thing is if you aren't around people. Loneliness is a real problem, especially today. We have the whole talk about the loneliness epidemic. It's not just something people say to make you feel bad. It is a real thing. And part of the problem is the internet. And I feel like that could also be a very big point of happiness, where it's not really providing us what we think it is. It's providing us that small amount of bliss, that small separation from our situation that we seek out so much, but it doesn't last for long, and it in turn makes our lives worse afterward. So, that has been this video. I do really hope you guys enjoy it. I've put a lot of thought into this one. This was another AI generated idea. I do really want to look at AI a little more and a little differently in the coming episodes, as we're doing some episodes on AI. Hopefully the first one will come up the same day this is posted. So I do hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like it, like, subscribe, comment, all of those things. But again, this is all to ask questions. Do you feel like happiness is a choice in today's day and age, or do you feel like it's so much a stroke of luck? So that has been the video. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys down in the comment section.